It was September 4th, 1949 in Hutchinson, Minnesota, when Roland and Phyllis Johnson welcomed their fourth son, Jay Johnson. Jay attended Hector Elementary for 2 years before the family moved to a farm in Bird Island, Minnesota. As can be imagined, raising 4 sons who were only 5.5 years apart was an adventure all on its own.
The sports got so rough in the backyard that for one Christmas my parents bought us football helmets. And then they still got kind of heated, so at one point they bought us boxing gloves.
When Jay was 8, a rule mandated by his father came into play.
And my dad's rule was always that if you pick a fight, you fight your own battles. If someone's picking on us, there better be 4 of you in on the fight. And well, we rode a school bus because we lived on a farm, and my second oldest brother was being picked on the bus. And in short order, all 4 of us were on top of that individual having at it, and the bus driver pulled over, stopped the fight, and this and that. And we didn't dare tell my parents. We didn't want to get in trouble at home.
The family moved back to Hector, where Jay was a halfback and a linebacker in football, a catcher in baseball, and made the varsity wrestling team as a 7th grader. This despite the fact that he was 10 pounds under the lowest weight class of 95 pounds.
A few weeks into the season, a senior who was also very small, and whatever came down, he thought, well, he was going to challenge me for the spot. And I pinned him right away, and I beat him, and he never came back to practice again.
Jay graduated from Hector High School in 1967 and decided to attend Morningside College in Sioux City, Iowa.
And I got a scholarship to wrestle and play football, both at Morningside in Sioux City, Iowa. In that year, it was the 1967-68. Freshmen were not eligible to wrestle on varsity. On January 1 of '68, freshmen became eligible. And I immediately made the varsity team as a freshman. And in that particular year, Morningside College went undefeated.
Baseball also remained in Jay's blood, and during the summer when he went home, he played Legion ball for the Eden Valley Watkins Hawks and town team ball for the Hector Flyers. As he had done throughout his baseball career, Jay played catcher, the only position he ever played on the diamond. In his sophomore year of college, along with one of his brothers, Jay transferred to Mankato State, where he continued to wrestle. It was during his junior year that he recognized he wanted to be a teacher. Jay graduated from Mankato State in 1972. He started his teaching career as a substitute at Stewart High School and began his coaching career as an assistant wrestling coach at Hector. Jay also drove the school bus during this time to help make ends meet.
My first job as an athletic director was at Eden Valley Watkins. I was hired to teach elementary physical education, and I was the head wrestling coach from day one.
The memories and stories over 35 years are many, including
I had one who was wrestling his match, and all of a sudden he was out there holding his ankle, and so I had an injury timeout, and so I went out to ask him, okay, what's going on? Did you roll your ankle or what? And he said, no, Coach, I just needed a breather. And so I turned around and I just walked off the mat and I said, get back out there and wrestle.
Jay met his future wife at a 50s bar where he worked as a bouncer. One night when he was not working, he asked Doreen to dance. That first dance eventually led to a walk down the aisle on May 22nd, 1981. Together they've raised 3 boys and a girl and have been blessed with a grandchild. Today, in retirement since 2012, Jay enjoys spending his time with his grandchild as well as venturing on statewide bike rides.
Myself and a couple of friends, Ray Try, who is our head football coach, and Bruce Keene, who is our principal, we started riding bicycle. And we'd take several trips. And the first one, we went from the west coast of Minnesota to the east coast on a bike trip. Then we decided, well, let's go south to north. So then we went from the Iowa border up to the Canadian border, and we did that one. And then we decided, well, we've done crisscross those two, how about diagonal? And so we did the diagonal from the southwest corner to the northeast corner.
Jay Johnson has been honored twice as the 5A AD of the Year and has been inducted into the Eden Valley Watkins, Dave Bartolomeo Wrestling Coaches Association, and Morningside College Halls of Fame. Today, he can add the MnIAAA Hall of Fame.
First off, I'd like to thank the MnIAAA for this award and for even considering me for this award. I do know that current athletic director Dave Schneider initiated and started to get this going, and I know that the current superintendent also was behind the scenes, and the current principal, Bruce Keene, also did a lot as far as getting this action going for my being in the MnIAAA Hall of Fame. I'd also like to thank my coaching staff over the years, and everybody was always very supportive, as well as the parents. I'd also very much like to thank, I guess starting with my parents. I lost my parents these last couple of years. They both died at the age of 92, so we had them for a lot of good years. I'd like to thank my brothers. Being the youngest, I got pounded on a lot, so I think that made me a little bit tougher. I'd like to thank my kids for understanding where my heart was at in regards to school. My wife, Doreen, I think as every athletic director knows and every coach knows, you're not going to be able to do the job if you don't have a very supportive and helpful spouse.